Alright, and off we are to the second part of this video, namely the comparison between all the greatness that you just saw with Kaiserklein playing, and now we're going to go into, well, my own gameplay for most of it. So we're just going to watch me playing the French people against Mr. Mystery also playing the Germans, so same matchup as before, as we told you beforehand. And we are playing on the map Kamchatka. And we will just see in a second what implications that map brings with it. So, Alex, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm back again. Hello guys, hopefully you watched the last video. Still making shoutouts to Kaiserklein, to M.F.D. And let's go into that.
Let's go indeed. How we go.
Really nice. You get a really good split on your CDB.
Yeah, rather good split.
I wouldn't take the coin treasure, especially with the. Oh no!
No, it's a macaque. That was on purpose.
That was my pet. Yeah, you always have to take the macaque.
I absolutely prepared for this map because I knew that you have two pairs of goats in the middle. Yeah. So I went for that one immediately.
Really good.
And I thought that mystery would do the same. So I just, let's take a look. I saw those and there I went for them. And I did not think that Mystery would leave his ones, because he is just going around here with not much use being taken out of his explorer right there. I'm just going to take those back safely without any problems. Super useful. Third one over there, because the macaque got it. So I've already got those 3 goats, and that was my plan over there. I need at least 3 goats to have a secure, wonderful 12-10, because you don't see me going for any wood. I just built my trading post over here.
Nice.
Yeah.
You get pretty much a dream start with your opponent Mystery still being on his side and not on the middle island. If you're unfamiliar with Kamchatka, the treasures can spawn a little bit different, but the pair of goats, there are always 2 times 2 goats in the middle of the island.
Super important.
Yeah. You want them if you want to age early. You want them if you're stuck in your base and starving of food. You dropped your trading post. I think you got first pass. Really nice. I did not know that, but it's if you have the top spawn of the map, it appears like that you get your first shipment early. So keep that in mind for your own games. If you have the top spawn, not the bottom, if you have the top spawn, go for this top trading post as Manuel did to get your 3 villager or distributivism or your 4 settler wagons early. It's a huge boost to your economy, and it helps so much for
and
your.
Now just look, I'm already
I'm
already there. I'm slaughtering 4 of those goats, and I had 5 at that point, so I've got 1 left, and I'm still getting more. So I've 1 here.
Yeah, you have a really good scouting pattern. That's definitely League 2 or
just
1.
Look at that.
Yeah,
League 2 or 1. Just don't over exaggerate.
No, it's really good. Can you turn in for Mystery?
Yes, of course. So Mystery at the same time.
He made a mistake to stick in his side of the base.
He stole 2 goats. He stole 1 goat at least from me. That is unfortunate, of course, but in the end, still 2 to 6. That is a quite
really good,
nice trade for myself.
At the moment, you didn't know that, but you could have gone for the 100 food in the middle of the map because he didn't scout that. Now he's getting it.
Oh no, he's not.
Oh, you're nice. You have the credit bra walking forward.
He's actually not gonna get that.
Yeah, that's something kinda. It's not niche, but it's a certain way to play the matchup, and it's super interesting. And they're
misclicked ones, but I still get it, and he can't do anything about it because my explorer's getting in there as well, and that is why I get 80 food extra. And he's just left there with a really terrible age up for Germany, of course.
Awful. And back to the point, you chose the way of violence. You chose the path of violence because you have 2 credit bars in the middle of the map, and I know what you're gonna do. And my trick, just one reason to put villagers in the middle of the map. you want to drop military buildings.
If that makes any sense, he was not tipped off by this, by the way, because he did only see one. He only saw one of those guys, and he saw that that herd was being pushed back. So that was my idea. Also, that's why I only put one of those on the treasure, because I wanted one to be away from the field of view of Mystery.
Wow.
I pushed that one back so I could see that those guys had been damaged, or that those guys had been herded back. And so I wanted to make him think that I was just one will going for a forward herd to
now
get that back.
For this treasure,
which you can't really contest. Look at that. Age up at 340 almost. Insane age up for Germany.
And you have a really good timing on this treasure, because Germany needs to take a trading post in transition. Otherwise, it's just that much weaker. So
he's taking it now. Really late.
As France in this matchup, you either want to take treasures at this point of the time, or you want to be on top of your opponent at the trading post, forcing him to take damage. If he is low, it's probably better call to keep stalking your opponent and just melee him down to really annoy him. At least, not in a friendly game, but that's a tournament game, and that's where it's for stakes.
Absolutely. That is here we are talking about
the double racks with
the respect.
Double racks with 700 woods. I really like your build. You immediately queuing crossbows. Crossbows don't have the best siege, but you want to kill villagers.
I want to snipe.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
want
that
to siege
one.
down
I want to snipe
the trading posts. You don't want to kill houses. You just want to kill villagers.
Yeah. And now the problem is I wait a bit long. There we go.
Can you show off your and the deck of Mystery?
That is my deck.
Yeah.
Rather
French
simple.
play, it is
standard.
Really standard.
Absolutely.
It has everything you want to have. You have the potential for H4 with the 2 heavy cannons. I really like that.
Yeah. And now just look at Mystery. He has a lot of standard cards. Well, one card missing here, and he has an extra card in the 4th edge, which is those six settler wagons. Please, Mystery, if you watch this video, please do explain why the hell do you have 6 settler wagons? Do you want to embarrass myself by just out-equaling a French player? I just want to know why.
I'm also curious. Now you're going forward with with 4 pikes and
5 pikes, 8 skirms or 8 crossbows.
Yeah. Please switch shortly to Mystery's point of view.
He's not seeing it yet. Now we get that, and I know that I can get that one. And he does not have anything in queue. Nothing in queue right now. Does not have a shipment. Nothing.
Too bad you're going back. You should have at least have one unit that you can if you have your explorer walking forward, checking the gold mine.
Yeah, I should have done that.
And seeing what kind of military building he went for. You want to know if you got the Rex.
Got the Rex, defensive Rex, which is a good decision right there. But I'm going to rid him of his trading post, which was in my idea. I wanted to do that because I needed to get him off XP. Yeah. In my opinion, then we get another villager. That is important as well because that's really nice. That guy is not. Two villages down, so even better village numbers for myself, and now getting 4 Cura de Bras.
At the moment, you definitely have the advantage. You have the map presence. You are the aggressor. You as the defender, you get the advantage in the military department, but you have to sacrifice villager seconds if you garrison them in your town center. Now you push forward after this pickup and the reinforcement crossbows. Now you shift gears and produce muskets. Really nice.
Because you need to go for muskets at some point as France, because you want to have that gold and food economy that you need in order to kind of age up to next stage. And now we see that defensive unit stuff that's there, and then I get caught off guard, and those guys are just in the in the worst spot they could be, because those guys are uncover mode, so not taking too much damage, but those guys are definitely getting slaughtered by those 4
stuff by Mystery. He
knows his stuff.
Yeah, and he focuses the pikes with the bows. He gets the snare off on the crossbows, and the high DPS Ulans do their job, and they do it well.
And I do see the army behind you, so I know I can't stay in
Yeah.
this fight for too long. I can just hit them one last time and make sure that that Yulan is not gonna bother me again. That was my idea here. But of course, my army is completely gone.
Yeah.
What I'm doing now is I see that he's not a lot of units left. There are no pikes on his side. I didn't see any, at least. He might go for more Ulans because Germans always have Ulans. So I'm going for Hussar.
Yeah.
And I'm actually getting out a quite decent amount of batches. I think I'm selling food here once or twice to kind of fill up that batch. Let's just look for a second.
If you have watched the last game with Kaiser Klein, I wouldn't have done it, but I think I guess it's viable. You can age up at this point. You can ship 700 gold, click up, because crossbows don't have siege, as Ulans don't. So you really get away with it. Not in this particular case because you have a front base.
I don't want to sacrifice that.
You can't really sacrifice that. So you have to keep massing. So you're kind of committed. Now he's taking pikes. He knows he needs some sort of anti-cav if you're going for a cav switch. You're really doing a fine job with your two supporting units from H1 by positioning in a way that they scout Ulan raids and also the top trading coin mine.
And I do register that, of course, because I do see that that guy dies right there.
Can you shortly check the mine of mystery?
Which one?
I want to know how far he's through his first.
500 coins so far because he has only built wood army and sent stuff. So.
But he got a church down as well.
Yeah.
So
church is super important. Why in this scenario? Because church is only 50 wood. It's 50 wood less, so 25% less wood to invest, but it has a 0.7 trickle, so that is a 30% decrease in trickle rate. You could argue that is a shit rate, but in comparison to a TP, that is actually rather valuable because that thing always constantly produces XP, and it does not go down that easily because it's just based in your place. It's placed in your base. There we go. And now we have the most unfortunate fight, you would think. Well, actually, it's the most fortunate fight of the entire game. Look at that.
For a short second, but now
he's not just AFK, he's AFB, away from brain in that moment, because he only now pulls the units back, and he didn't even need to kite there. He just could have shot at my units.
Yeah.
Because the problem is his entire
be forcing the issue quickly.
Exactly, yeah. He dies still. Now I think and now I went to trample mode.
Really back and forth. You better go in trample mode?
Yeah, I just wanted to try that one out. I think I might have done more damage if I didn't, but still.
Yeah,
he's using lots and lots of units right there, and I thought, yeah, that is good for myself.
If you haven't known that, I think you take more damage if you're in trample mode.
I do.
And you're just a lot slower, so...
Yeah, that was just a one moment try, I suppose, but I'm not going to do that again, I promise you guys.
You're still massing. Now it would be the time to click up and go into the fortress grind.
Probably, yeah, because also look at that eco numbers. If we're looking at that, we have for mystery, just let me get a quick check on that. We have 8 villages, so that means 8 and 8 plus, so 31 to 20% of that is so basically equal villager numbers, but better upgrades on his villages because I don't have all my upgrades yet. If you look at that,
that's got on the floor. Yeah. You really want to click up at this point. Why? Because you just got a good trade, and if you click up, he doesn't have the luxury to clicking up that easy because he needs to produce anti-cavalry to keep you from doing what you're doing, which is raiding his villagers at his side coin mine. But you decided that you didn't click up and you produced muskets, but you're going back again. I would really have appreciated if you had at least put them into use and would have done more damage, like going for the trading bows, going for one house, maybe the market, forcing his villagers, which are on front of his base, to walk to the next hunt. But that's the time where things go sour because he is halfway up, and I think you're about to click up right now. and that's actually huge because muskets and Haas in H3 they are
Not that great,
class.
and you need the upgrade. So that
class,
is
yeah.
800 resources you need to invest to get them onto the fighting level that your opponent
Yeah,
already is on.
That's another big point when you're going to surface. It's really, it's a missed chance, Manuel. You should have been more aggressive at that situation after you got the good trade and produced muskets.
No. Just for you guys as an information, right? That is the first time actually that I'm watching this game after having played it.
I mean, it's super hard to know where you are at a live game, especially if you're playing for a position.
In a tournament position, in a league, right? That is, of course, it's a bit different. There you see, I'm now at 12 minutes. I'm getting steel traps, which is essential. That is an essential upgrade for myself, actually. I would have thinking that much earlier. Now, Mystery is going to go forward. I think he's going to go be aggressive here, and I thought, no, I'm just not going to use that because I'm back in my base. I have units, but neither of them upgraded. I can't really fight against them. And now we got the war wagons, and those guys. Those are the ones that actually make the decision for me, because once I saw that those guys are in the siege, I knew I could not push those easily.
Yeah, he ships the perfect unit, which is war wagons, and you also produce war wagons in this situation as Germany, because your opponent has shown you must cast, and both units are countered, or in the best scenario for the French player, are trading equal with the war wagons, which have the same range as muskets and totally destroy.
Just look at that 8 war wagons. So that means 3 cent and 5 war wagon H3, which is Tobis build order, which is a rather powerful build order. Now I'm going for what? Veteran musketeers for 15 musketeers.
I don't dislike this upgrade. You have enough musketeers to
kind of justify.
But you should not have sent dragoons if you are upgrading your muskets, because you kinda need something. You need a well-rounded army composition, and dragoons and muskets.
I was just so sure that he was going to go more on a Ulan.
Yeah, I understand. I thought of this point, and I thought about the 9 Ulan shipment as well. But you already have musk, and I think you should either upgrade them and ship skirmishers, or you don't upgrade them and ship dragoons.
No, I absolutely agree. Right now, he's actually in the lead, by the way, with villager population. If we look at that, he's just much far ahead from myself. I have my goat over there, which is absolutely not useful.
But what I really like, you still have your macaque, your duba.
Yeah, on the left side, protecting those resources, because I want to know if anything happens up there.
I enjoyed that when I saw the game live.
That is pathing, by the way. Definitive edition pathing.
Just as for context for you guys, the German player is in the lead. He just cleaned up the French forward base. He got it okay H2. H1 was better for you, but since now he has the positional advantage, you have your veteran musketeers, but they're still not standing up against the war wagon mass, and you really want to go for the dragoon skirmisher. Nice raid. Wow, yeah, that was huge.
Because look at that, I'm pushing off 15 villagers, so basically equivalent of almost 20 villages. So what, 2/3 of his units are going to go idle for 10 seconds or so.
That's exactly what you need to do if you're kind of on the back foot. And
over there, I'm just being annoying, just to say, I'm here.
That's really nice. I mean, at the moment you're chopping
a lot of wood.
You're chopping a lot of wood, and I think your next cut is 1k wood. I really hated that decision, to be honest. You just lost your front base. I understand that you want to replace them.
I replaced them more or less with those 2 buildings, but the point was I sent 1k wood. Because the point is, now I see his army, so I'm going to go forward. I'm just going to snipe 1 or 2 Ulans. That is my idea. I'm just going to snipe 1.
That's nice.
Going to run.
That's good stuff.
Second one. and I lose too many units right there.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a shame. But now I'm actually able to. I tried to focus those guys as good as I could. Some melee for the cavalry.
Yeah.
Infantry in there and all that.
Now you put your muskets back in ranged.
Yeah,
but
so I could shoot back.
That's the problem. Muskets don't have the speed to keep up.
Yeah,
with
they don't outrange the enemy units.
They don't outrange and they're slower. So
I'm putting some corroded Rhine there just for extra damage.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm pushing
really
it back
hard
because there's just too much HP in the front, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm actually damaging his damage dealing units quite heavily.
Yeah.
Because if we think about those guys, they have actually a negative multiplier for infantry or for villages. So that means they can't really deal with my HP bag that I have in front of my army.
I think you turned out really good in this fight because you traded off your H2 composition for it was upgraded.
Upgraded. That is a kind of a shame.
You still have your Haas, which are much better than the H2.
Yeah, and here I'm doing a big mistake because I'm always putting that crossbowman. I should have just deleted that boy because he was just an annoyance.
But don't send 6, just send 2 or 3 Haas. That you get punished so hard if you get.
And there I do the trample one again, by the way. My idea was that I know that I might only get 1 of those, but maybe the next time if I raid, then I'm going to get 3 or 4 because they are heavily damaged. Which is an idea, but from my experience, after trying this 1 or 2 times, I can tell you don't do this again. And this was an absolute mismatch. I don't know what happened here. Honestly, I don't know why they moved forward. I don't know. I think they just right-clicked something, so I had to sacrifice 8 skirms or something.
That was really harsh. I mean,
basically what they did, they just followed the army. They just followed the army, and that was not just a shame, but that was.
I thought at first glance it was really good that you followed it, but your anti-cav was out of position.
Now we see Uhlans out there and lots and lots of Uhlans. And what I'm thinking now is just
check mines, but sadly you forgot about your Dubar because it's dead, and why it's dead because it got punched to death by villager.
If I raided that mine, the game would have been over.
Yeah, it's those small things that decide.
But you know what? I didn't do that because I knew that his army just went back from here and was over here. So my idea was he must be up here to protect his corn economy. So I thought I'm just not going to try it because I'm just going to waste units. But actually, I could have gotten so much value of just 3 or 4 units out there because I could have killed a lot of settlers, and even more important, I could have idled him for ages. Well, that is why I'm here with the micro, and that is why Alex here with his brain, because he thinks of that stuff. And I thought that's not going to work. That's not going to be worth it.
Yeah, but it's another point to think about it. If you see it in retrospect, and if you are in a live game,
I was just so sure that he had all of his units all the way over there.
You can feel the tension. You can smell the sweat both of you put into that. Can you check who sent Cav Combat, because that's a really interesting.
He did not. And I didn't either at this point. Nope.
I would. You really want, if you're kind of at the point where your production of 2 barracks is at this maximum because you produce enough resources, you want to send upgrades like.
Now I saw that fight coming.
Now you send 1k woods, and
is that
you
one?
Already. Now you send 1k wood, which is not the right card to send there because you already have your infrastructure down. You went really greedy with the 2.
Those guys not shooting is really. At this point, I thought I lost the game actually.
Yeah.
But because there's a TC and those guys are focusing over there.
Yeah, and here's a 3-unit composition. You have a 2-unit composition.
It's also bad for me, I know, and that is something I have to learn with France. Here I'm going to go Minuteman because I just want to get some extra damage out to minimize the damage that those Uhlans can do. And now he sees, okay, skirm wise, I'm still in the lead. He's got a lot of units vulnerable to skirms. So I delete the army here, and it's not a good trade for either of us, but it's a trade.
Now he's up in the skirm war. Oh man!
And actually, I missed him. Look at that! I missed his units. That is so sad. I did not see that.
He's really sneaky by going up this mine, and that's a bold decision. But it turns out to be
absolutely worth it. But now look at that! I've got a second TC, and all of you guys who play France.
3 TCs.
Not now. Oh, it's already up. Yeah, I have got 3 TCs, and that is important because that is actually what's going to get me ahead to some extent, because I was not ahead. Look at that, 36 to 33 villages, and he has much more warbling. So he's basically 40 or 41 villages, and I've got, let's say, what, 38. So in total, he is in a better position, you would think, but
I don't like it.
Yeah, his army's over there.
That is
just bad for me, of course.
Your opponent has he's just able to train more stuff in less time. You got a KO-ish trade. You need to keep him off the middle map gold mines. You want to keep your map presence, and even if you have more villagers, it's not enough to be on mills.
Also, think about the fact that one thing that I loved about this play was that I got this hunt, which was originally here on the middle island. He got his too, more or less. I don't know, but here we have one silver mine, another silver mine. I'm just going to give up this territory here entirely. I'm just going to give it up, and that was not a smart way to go. Now, oh my god, I'm missing those again. You're shitting me, right? Oh no! I went into his base and I thought, okay, I'm going to find some villages over there, and I'm gonna just. Oh god! Now we have a fight over here. I wanted to ward this off just to force him to take one direction, which was a smart move in my opinion, because I kind of managed to channel his army so I could deal with it more properly, more planned, in a more planned way.
Now you have a lot of wood because you sent 1k wood.
And the problem is, I sent 1k wood and I already had 2 town centers up, which makes no sense at all.
You don't have the economic unit population to support more production than from a barracks and a Rex.
Absolutely
at the moment.
Not. Yeah.
So the first thing you need to get rid of every villager that is chopping wood at the moment, and you really need to hope for good rates, good trades. I think you do you still have your 2 Farks in the deck?
No, I have them in the deck, but I never sent them, I think.
Yeah, at the moment it's really tricky because it's not the right unit. You want to have a meat shield.
Too much cavalry right there because I don't have a meat shield. And now I'm just wasting a shipment. Just watch that. I'm just wasting because I thought I'm just going to be pissy here. I'm just going to snipe one unit after the other.
Yeah, that's.
Now those guys go in.
That's good.
And now I go back and don't do any damage anymore.
Yeah, that's.
Now I do some damage, which was good in my opinion because I went back and forth.
It's a good trade for you since he has more units and a 3-unit composition against your 2. But you really lack the hand cavalry to. If he at one point if he decided to force the issue, your skirmish is dead. If you went in there, your raiding company is out of position. I don't know, is it still here? I think it's on
my raiding party. No, my raiding party died in here, killing off some of his villagers. Look at that, I have a slight or a bigger villager discrepancy right now because he's still on 1 TC. The problem was that right there
he has map and you don't.
I don't have map. That is a big problem, and now look at food. I don't have any food left, and now I'm going for 2 mills, and mills are.
You have 2 decisions. You either go on mills or you build an artillery foundry and hope that Falks will carry you and your.
And now just look at all of those juicy villages in her area. Why I was 2 minutes ago with my cavalry. I could have gotten those if I just managed right now.
But now you can't because you don't have the unit mass to support the cavalry, putting pressure on.
3,000 point lead, by the way, for him.
And you have the more of the eco, which means which means he has the much bigger army. I think at the moment he sent cavalry combat.
Yeah, he did.
Which is really good. I really like this decision by him. He has a huge cavalry mass. It is the perfect card to bolster the quality of his army.
Because he has mostly cavalry, of course. Yeah, look at that. Rather impressive.
But as Germany, Uhlans against the composition that doesn't has the meat shield can just go in and trade off all the skirmishers. So it's fine if he doesn't have as much skirmishers as you do. If he just set moves it in and just but he's hesitant. He doesn't has to force the issue. He has the map. You have to do something, and he's just playing it safe. Good stuff by Mystery coming out. I have to say, he's pushing slowly, a little bit hesitant, but you can't. You have more villagers, but you can't really gather at an equal rate as he does, because he has the map, he has the natural resources, he can produce units with food more efficiently.
But if you look at the resource gather rate right here, right?
Yeah.
Compare it to.
Yeah, he has a more cold, heavy composition, and
I'm just on. I'm on wood, and that is something that really messes my entire game up. Because I'm on wood rather heavily to invest into new buildings here, to invest into the upgrades, to kind of get my IQ into the next stage, into that stage when there's no natural resources left.
At this point of the game, you have to do it. You are taking harps. I would have liked to see Shindaum instead of harps. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
I think it's the more flexible unit, and you want the ability to be able to keep up with the skirmishers if you're pushing forward, if you want to apply pressure. If you got low HP hand cavalry, you send it to raids. And halberdiers can't do neither of those.
Yeah, they can't. They are not that there's not that much utility in those units. My idea was that I have at least let's say 5 to 10 or 10 to 15 units that hard stop the Ulans, because if those 10 halberdiers get into the Ulans, they're just going to melt, right? That was my idea. And I did think about Cuirassiers, but I saw that war wagon mass, and I thought those guys are going to kill everything I have. And my micro is good. To this day, I believe that my micro is just a notch better than Mystery's micro, in my opinion. But what he has that I not have in the same grade is just map and game awareness, and that is something I salute him. I salute him every day, because I think here I actually had a decent position for quite a long time, because I much less army than he did, but he was forced back and forth. I repaired that for nothing really, for not a lot of resources, and he was going back and forth while I grew my economy. 55 villages to 43. No German economy can keep up with the French economy at that point, but now he gets those Jaegers.
Yeah, he overpops to 221, and then it's go time.
And now look at my population. Look at that.
Ulans.
Yeah.
Dragonas are good to kill them, but you need something to block them. And
because if they get into in melee combat with either Dragonas or Skirms, then you're not going to have a good time. That is just when they meet a target that they actually can do damage to, they're just going to rip through it, even if they die doing it. But that their value is done not by tanking, their value is done by doing damage.
At that point, I would have loved to see both of you taking an arsenal tax. It's about this time in the game where you really want to have cavalry caress.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the
for him at least,
for the Dragonas to have more range, I think.
Yeah. And more attack.
Oh yeah, nice. Can you switch to his point? He's like having a dream comeback after the better H2 and perfect H1 gameplay from you. He has the map, he's still gathering coins.
I would say that he actually had the better H2 gameplay, because he took the tempo with him.
He had the drop, the pop with and now his Jaegers coming in. He outskirms you. He has
by far
the hand cavalry to force the issue.
And my idea was to just
he knows he's in front, I guess.
Yeah, he's know that he's on top of his game right there, and I'm seeing his army coming in. I see the Jaegers. I do realize that those guys are in there, so I'm pushing those guys over here. And actually, where they need to be was more like here or here, because as we're going to see in a second, I'm giving up. This is going to be an epic shootout, of course, really, really epic. But now these guys come in. I'm taking militiamen, and now I stopped too early. I stopped too early because I need those guys over here. Those guys, I think, okay, I'm going to push them in here into the war wagons. No, that's not going to work. I needed them over here, so I'm going to go all the way over here. Those guys going through the middle, and no damage by being done by them after all. I'm running, and now
He's following all
He's
the
just
way.
killing all of my anti-cavalry in here.
Yeah.
And those guys are going to go to the right side. They're all going to go over there to kill one guy. And those guys are all doing damage. All of them are doing damage.
Yeah.
And I'm killing them.
Yeah.
So the damage is there, but I just can't sustain the whole thing. And of course, he's a much larger army, much more efficient
he still
army.
outcomes you, and
Yeah.
you have dealt with the biggest threat, which is the hand cavalry, but skirmishers are just in his favor.
Absolutely.
And now you're down 1k in score, which is surprisingly
60 to 43 villages.
Yeah.
I would have won that game if it went on for another fight, I think.
But you can't kill this army.
No, I can't kill this army anymore.
He's in your
And at this point, I just thought, well, damn it. That's where I'm going to die. So I just put all, and I'm talking about all my villagers, into the fight to just say, and you guys can't see that, but I'm holding up a middle finger right now. So I just say, I already lost the first game. Spoiler right there. So I said I'm just gonna try and kill that army with my entire village economy, right? Of course that did not work.
Yeah.
But look at the score just dropping right there. And at this point, I think I'm just going to talk about the end of the game early, because obviously we can see that I'm winning this game by a margin, by quite the margin. I'm winning, right?
Yeah.
No, I just want to pull ahead and talk about the ending and the entire game. I'm really glad that I watched this game with you, because there are a lot of points that I did not think about that actively, especially the H3. I did not think about going H3 that early, because I thought, that was a good trade, but I thought that trade did not put me in the lead, but rather just equaled us out, right? That was what I thought.
I also... yeah.
No, please.
So I would not have upgraded my H2 army. I think 8 Huss are too.
I'd say
small.
10 Huss. 10 Huss is probably the margin we want to go for.
10 Huss is the breaking point where you can justify upgrading that. But you needed the wood to rebuild the front base you gave up on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's good that you gave it up in the first place, but you should have either attacked veteran musketeer or sent 10 skirmishers. I think that 5 dragoons is a very safe shipment if you are on front, but it's hard to realize where you're at in the game, and it's really hard to realize which shipment is kind of putting you further ahead, like 1k wood, or is regaining your or is a shipment that gives you an leverage to get back into the game.
Absolutely, because the 1k wood, as we saw, at the point is
so much.
You usually want to what you want to do with France with 1k wood. If you don't put up anything that produces more economy for you with that 1k wood, then you're just dumb. My idea at the moment when I played the game was actually to put down mills and estates to make sure that I get some late game or mid game eco. But to be honest, it just didn't work out. It just didn't work out at all, and that was a problem. Of course, because I had three TCs. I had enough hunt to kind of sustain the economy there for some time at least, to push out an economic lead that happened, and that happened without the 300 or the 1,000 wood. 1,000 coin, for example, would have been much more valuable probably, or more military, or the cannons in some places actually, because the cannons, either he would have gone back again a few more times and I would have gotten even more kills, or he might have tried to push the cannons and then lost a lot of his war wagons.
Yeah, and your halberdiers that you produced would have been really nice if you have a long range artillery unit.
To kind of force him to get into the melee with those guys.
Yeah, and you don't need the speed of cuirassier to be as flexible, to be on top of your skirmishers if the Uhlans decide to go all in or go all out.
Absolutely. So if we compare this with the France game that we just saw, then I would say 1,000 wood was sent in the entirely wrong place.
The first H1, your H1 gameplay was flawless. I would say. I didn't know that the top trading post would give you a shipment earlier.
That was damn good.
That was you got a really nice food treasure. It wasn't the best. It wasn't 100. It was 45, but it accelerated your build.
Absolutely.
And it was really nice to see you execute the wood build with France, with the 2 barracks and the mix from crossbow pike to have siege, to have the potential to kill villagers with the crossbows and protect your siege ability, namely the pikes. That's something I also have troubles, is to know when to age up into third age.
Yep.
And usually if you're had an engagement and military numbers are low, usually then you have the luxury to think about clicking up and sending 700 gold.
I do agree with that, but just a second, just give me a second for a pause. Be right back here. So we're now right back to it. I'm sorry for the short interruption, but that was just a toilet break for myself.
Yeah, so we were just over analyzing Manuel's game. We weren't H2 play, and so the H1 was absolute. It was a treat to watch. It was really nice with how many sheep you got, the scouting patterns you had. You scouted the
entire map almost.
Yeah, you scouted the best treasures. The treasure spawns on this map are kind of different. You have 2 big treasures in the middle, and most of the time there are 2 good treasures on the bottom side of the map. So you want to go middle and then to the bottom side on your half of the river system ish.
Yeah.
So the H2 you got a slap when he popped the bows and the
bows and cav. That really messed me up, especially with the caveat from before. So 4 Ulans to kind of annoy me.
Yeah. From there you got a big setback, but you were in head in villager population. We didn't showcase that, but because your build was quite aggressive, you were not able to build a market because all your wood was forced to go to your
I
house.
did build market.
Yeah.
I did not get I did not get steel traps. That is true.
Yeah,
and I did not get the coin upgrades.
And you didn't got the wood upgrades. No, the placer mines isn't that good.
I don't need wood upgrade.
I
don't need that.
This build sometimes, but I usually go for market in. But I really like I really like your way to play this, because you got your 3 current boss earlier, which lets you age up a lot earlier with 12 villagers.
No. I just want to repeat that I did not go for the wood upgrade because I think I bought wood twice, which still makes some kind of sense when you're talking about gather rate.
Houses and stuff.
And the problem was that I don't go for the wood upgrade because those 100 food I need for food is more crucial in the production of those wood armies than wood, because I get the wood from the shipments, right?
Yeah, I think you sent 700 or 600 into
6 into 4 villages. Yeah, because the idea is that with the 600, with the 700, I built a few, I think 2 or 3 houses, and the rest goes into army. So 400. So that's 2 batches of wood army. 600 is again 2 batches and 2 houses.
Really nice to be active on the map, to be an aggressive player.
Yeah. And the problem there was that I never really chop wood because it's just not efficient enough for me to do. And what I did do was when I ran out of wood, I basically just switched to musketeer because that is what you want, and I switched to musketeer and Huss in that moment.
I think you sent your 600 wood. I think you never sent it. Actually.
I did. Of course I did. Yeah, 600 wood. Right?
Yeah, 600 wood in H2.
Look that.
Yeah, true story.
So it was the builder was there 376. It was there. I was rather fast with all those things because I had a church as well from some point on, so I actually got quite a lot of XP.
Late.
Yeah, it was in H3 I think, or late H2. But I think we actually spilled the most important parts about the game already, right?
True.
So H1 flawless. Let's just stick with
Yeah.
that because H1 was, in my opinion, one of the best
Yeah.
H1s. As I said in the cast, and you might see that cast as well. It is in German
Yeah.
though, so
You really can take more than one thing, one or two things away from Manuel's scouting pattern in specific, what treasures he takes, and the biggest thing, in my opinion, was his early TP placement. If you get the top spawn of this map, you really want to take this trading post.
I'd say it's at least a 20-second difference in when you get your first shipment, which is 3 villages, and that is insane. Especially that's almost 4, and that is even more insane if you think about the fact that you're doing a 12-10. So that means your only eco is what's on the field. So if that thing is on the field even earlier, that is just going to push you over the edge. But yeah, H2 was kind of a back and forth, and I think the back and forth developed in a better tempo for the German player because I built too much infantry and too much army that was not used really well.
It's you can build more army in H2 if you stay H2 and take stagecoach, but this map doesn't really allow that because the third trading post you can't build it as the opponent player because the build limits of the opponent trade town center is too close.
Yeah,
so if you're on Saguenay, for example, as we saw last game, if you didn't watch that video, it's really a treat. You can go for ATP, mass H2 army, and outmass the German player who is in H3 against your H2 with mass cast against Goom with ATP behind.
Yeah. That's
a thing you can do. Or you go for an early H3, which is really hard to do, but I guess it's viable. Kaiser Clan does it.
Yeah, so of course it's viable because Kaiser Clan can do, all of us can do. You know what we're talking about here, right? So I'd say, Alex, if you...
Thank you for having me for those 3 games. I also casted with Tobi and Manuel.
We casted Linus against White Setsu, which was fascinating as well. Quick, scorchy game spot. Again in German, so not interesting for most of you guys who speak English there. But honestly, Alex, today we casted those 3 games today just to make sure that you guys understand what we're talking about here. That is why the audio is also a bit weird because both of us are actually in my room and just talking into the microphone as good as we can. But I did not know what I was getting myself into when I started casting with you. But after the first 3 minutes of casting Kaiser Clan's game, I know this was going to be a blast, and so I'm not just happy that you were happy to have been had here, but I'm actually also quite happy to have you here because that was just a blast the entire night. I hope you guys appreciate it as well. And I'd say after this deep dive, they're not going to be, every other video is not going to be one of those. It's just we thought because Alex is so familiar with the matchup and Alex is so interested into the matchup that we would just both do this thing and invest the time and the energy to prepare the whole experience, not just for ourselves to rewatch the whole thing, but for you guys as viewers as well. And we hope you enjoyed it, Alex. I think you can say that.
It was a treat.
And
Cheers,
I'd
guys.
say see you next time. Exactly. Cheers, guys, and good day.